Brothers and sisters, for those who just tuned in via YouTube, this is part 2 of Roots, the Bible version, how the transatlantic slave trade directly connects to the chosen people of God, the children of Israel. We're in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. We've already read verse 1. We're dealing with the blessings and the curses. Verse 2.
Yeah.
And all these blessings shall come on you and overtake you if you shall hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
There's that if again, Black Ice. All these blessings. The Lord is a fair God. He wants to bless us, sisters and brothers. Come on, Ice.
Verse 3. Blessed shall thou be in the city.
You're going to be blessed in the city.
And blessed shall thou be in the field.
You're going to be blessed in the suburbs.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body.
Your children.
And the fruit of thy ground.
Everything you plant.
And the fruit of thy cattle.
Yeah.
The increase of thy kind.
Right.
And the flocks of thy sheep.
Now we had animal herds because we were a nomadic people. That's what the word Hebrew means. It means traveling people. Come on, Ice.
Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out.
Whatever you do, everything you put your hands to, sisters and brothers, the Lord is going to bless it. That is if we keep his commandments. That's if we keep his commandments. Look what he said about our enemies at verse 7. Then we'll skip, Ice.
Verse 7, Deuteronomy 28 and 7.
Yes.
The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face.
Yep.
They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
They're going to be scared of you. Your enemies going to be scared of you because they're going to say God is with you through your knowledge and understanding of the commandments of God. Skip down to verse 9.
Brothers and sisters, when you read about the story of who was Moses and Aaron, and those who went into Jericho.
That's Joshua.
When you read about the story of Joshua, brothers and sisters, when they went in there and did the surveillance and they ran across the prostitute, she told them, our people are afraid of you. We heard about what your God did for you under the Egyptian rulership.
But we read that in Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, that all the nations that see you, they're going to say, surely this is a great and wild people, and their God is with them.
But that was if we were obedient and did all the statutes, laws, and commandments that he commanded us. So what's the opposite of that? We're going to read that in a minute. Verse 8.
Verse 9. Verse 9.
The Lord shall establish you a holy people unto himself.
That's why people always say in Black Ice, what is it about our people that we don't understand? We always say it's something about my people, but I can't put my finger on it because the Lord is your God. He wants you to be a holy people. He chose you to be a holy people. Ice, read it.
As he has sworn unto you, if, which is the condition.
That's the condition.
You shall keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
And what?
And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called the name of the Lord. And they shall be afraid of you.
And if you wanted a perfect example, go back and read about King Solomon. The Bible said that all the people of the earth, and he means all the people of the earth, sought to hear the wisdom of King Solomon, to hear his wisdom concerning God. Solomon, our descendant, that you don't hear in Black History Month. They never tell you that. You got David, the greatest king we ever had. Joshua, the greatest general that we ever had. You don't hear about those people. All you know about here is Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, John Brown, slave history. But we are great people, Ice.
And brothers and sisters, black people today who came over here by way of the slave trade like to gloat about Egypt today, brothers and sisters, and Egyptians. But if you go and read this Bible, brothers and sisters, did you know that it was an Israelite that taught the Egyptians?
Joseph.
It's written right in the book. Joseph was the one who taught the Egyptians, an Israelite.
Who you think built the pyramids? But you never hear that. Skip down to verse 13, Black Ice, so we can move on.
Deuteronomy 28 and 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail.
What?
And thou shalt be above only. And thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them.
Black Ice, do you know how powerful that word, and the Lord shall make thee the head. Heads lead, sisters and brothers. Tails follow.
Wow.
If we have kept the commandment, guess what, Black Ice? Well, let's finish this, Black Ice. Let's look at, and the Lord told you, if you read the whole thing, he said, every nation gonna come and borrow from you. They're going to come and get their car loan from you. They're going to come and get their mortgages and house finances from you. You're going to be the governorship of the Lord as an example to the whole world. We blew it, Ice.
And this is the real black history, brothers and sisters. You thought that they were teaching it in your schools, brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
How can a system that oppressed and enslaved you give you the truth about your history and who you really are?
Wow.
But God put it right in his book, brothers and sisters.
If you want to hide something from Israelites,
Put it in a book.
put it in a book.
Deuteronomy 28
and 15. Here we go. Let's look at the other shoe, the other flip side of it, because we didn't do it. Look, Ice, what happens?
Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Remember, but go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon you.
All these what, Ice?
Curses, Brother Julius.
Wait, you mean God will curse his own people?
That's what he said. If you
He
don't
told you?
do these things that I'm commanding you to do this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and
Yes.
overtake you.
If you listen, you're going to be blessed. If you don't listen, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to curse you. Let's see what happened, Black Ice.
Verse 16. Curse shall thou be in the city.
In the city of Chicago. How is it that the city of Chicago has become the murder capital of the United States in our community? Go to Memphis. Go to Los Angeles. Go to Dallas. Go to Florida. Go to Atlanta. You make the news. You are always marching and protesting. You are always picketing. You always throw up the peace sign, and you always the last one hired and the first one fired. Come on, Ice.
Curse shall thou be in the field.
Now you're going to take it from the city and they're going to push you out into the suburbs and you're going to misbehave there. Read, Ice.
Curse shall be thy basket and thy store.
Where your stores at? You don't have any. Go ahead, Ice.
Curse shall be the fruit of thy body.
Look at your children. Our children coming out with birth defects and we don't want them. Throwing our children in the garbage cans. Read, Ice.
Brother Julius, I just came from...
I'm hurt, Ice.
I just came from Wichita, Kansas, Brother Julius.
Yes, sir.
There was a baby girl by the name of Journey, an infant baby, that somebody, and they are assuming that it was the babysitter, took the baby, choked the baby to death, took the baby out to a wooded area, Brother Julius.
Yeah.
And tried to set the baby on fire, Brother Julius, and killed the baby.
It's not good enough that you choked the baby, but you got to add sin upon sin, Ice. Oh, by the way, it is written, better had you never been born than to offend one of God's little ones. Payday is coming. You're not getting away. You're getting by.
Curse shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep.
Look how the Lord done flipped the script on us. Come on, Ice. One more.
Curse shall thou be when thou comest in, and curse shall thou be when thou goest out.
Go ahead, Ice. Watch this. Watch this, Ice. 20.
The Lord will send upon thee cursings, vexations.
Wait. No. You read that wrong. You started that wrong. It should have been the devil.
No,
Who doing this to us?
The Lord is doing this to us, brothers and sisters. That's why you can't blame the white man, brothers and sisters.
Stop it.
We're running around, oh, the white man did this, or the white man did that, or look at that right there. He or she is the reason why we're in this condition. No, brothers and sisters, the Lord put us in this condition because of the disobedience of our forefathers. So if you want to blame somebody, blame our forefathers and look at the Lord.
3 fingers pointing at somebody else, 1 pointing toward God, and 3 pointing at you. Sisters and brothers, we should have listened. We should have listened. Come on, Ice.
The Lord shall send upon thee cursings, vexations, and rebuke. And all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed,
Go ahead.
and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings.
It is wicked for you to take a baby and kill a baby, an innocent child, because you mad. It's wicked for you to abuse and lay with every woman and lay with every man. It is wicked for you to go to church and don't even know who you praising. It's wicked, sisters and brothers. The Lord said he hurt us for this.
That's right.
Come on, let's finish it up.
Whereby thou hast forsaken me.
You forsaken me. You turned to other gods, and I warned you that if you do me, I'm going to do you.
For the sake of time, let's jump down, Brother Julius. For the sake of time.
Verse 25, Ice. We got to hit 25.
25,
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 28 and 25.
Here we go, Ice.
And it reads, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
No. You're going to migrate on your own.
Brothers and sisters, you wonder how we got to the northwest corner of Africa? We're dealing with this one verse, Deuteronomy 28 and 25. He said that once our enemies come against us, we're going to flee 7 ways before them. And we're going to be removed, brothers and sisters, into all the kingdoms of the earth.
28, Ice. We got to get to this slave trade.
Brother Julius, before we go to 28, let's go to the encyclopedia.
Okay.
Or the Wikipedia, Brother Julius.
What you want to look up, my brother?
We're going to go to the Roman-Israel War.
Wow.
We're going to go to the Roman-Israel War. We got to find out what actually happened, brothers and sisters, with the Jews and the Romans. And how we were removed. We just read it in Deuteronomy 28:25 that we were removed off the land, brothers and sisters.
The Lord can't lie, sisters and brothers. It can't lie. In 70 AD, tell me what happened, Black Ice.
It says right here, the Great Revolt began in the year 66 CE, originating in the Roman and Jewish ethnic tensions. The crisis escalated due to anti-taxation protests and attacks upon Roman citizens. The Roman governor, Gesius Florus, responded by plundering the Jewish temple, claiming the money was for the emperor, and the next day launching a raid on the city, arresting numerous senior Jewish figures. This prompted a larger scale rebellion, and the Roman military garrison of Judea was quickly overrun by the rebels, while the pro-Roman king Agrippa II, together with Roman officials, fled Jerusalem as it became clear the rebellion was getting out of control. Cestius Gallus and the legate of Syria brought in the Syrian army.
So these were in the days of Herod Agrippa II. Herod, you've heard of King Herod, that say he was the king of the Jews. Herod was not an Israelite. Herod was an Idumean, our brother, that did a sins with the Romans.
So again, brothers and sisters, this conflict went back and forth and back and forth. We got the Romans and we got the Jews or the Israelites, brothers and sisters. Remember, it started in 67. But let's get into 70 AD, brothers and sisters.
What happened then, Black?
It says after a lull in the military operations, owing to civil war and political turmoil in Rome, Vespasian was called to Rome and appointed as emperor in 69.
Emperor Vespasian and his son Titus. Come on.
With Vespasian's departure, Titus moved to besiege the center of rebel resistance in Jerusalem in early 70. The first 2 walls of Jerusalem were breached within 3 weeks, but a stubborn rebel standoff prevented the Roman army from breaking the third and thickest wall. Following a brutal 7-month siege, during which zealot infighting resulted in burning of the entire food supplies of the city, the Romans finally succeeded in breaching the defenses of the weakened Jewish forces in the summer of 70.
Wow.
Following the fall of Jerusalem, Titus left for Rome, and leaving Legion X to defeat the remaining Jewish strongholds, finalizing the Roman campaign.
So Vespasian eventually went back and became emperor of Rome, but he left his son Titus in charge. And what Titus did, sacked Jerusalem, burned Jerusalem down to the ground, and took everybody that lived into captivity. Oh, by the way, your brother Esau or Edom.
Oh my God.
Read the book of Obadiah. Look what the so-called Jewish people did to us. And the Lord said, because what you did to my people and your brother, I'm gonna do you. Another lesson, another time.
Brother
Let's
Julie,
look at it in the scriptures, right?
Do we have 5 minutes to just read them a couple of scriptures from the book of Obadiah?
Let's read, but first, let's go to Luke 21.
Okay, Luke 21. Now remember, we're setting this whole thing up. We're showing you how the Romans came into Jerusalem in 70 AD. They took over, they knocked down all the defenses, and they started killing everything, brothers and sisters. But there were some of us that escaped by the hundreds of thousands, brothers and sisters. We just looked at Syria last year, how there was ethnic cleansing, brothers and sisters.
A lot of refugees.
And a lot of the Syrian people escaped by the hundreds of thousands, and some were accepted in parts of Europe, and some were accepted other places, and some were locked off. Actually, Donald Trump was one of the ones who said that we're not going to let Assyrians come into this country if he is president, because they were saying that some of the Syrians is some of the ones that joined into ISIS, brothers and sisters. So we're just showing you some of these things. We lost our live feed. And it's not a mistake that we lost our live feed, brothers and sisters.
Somebody don't want this information to get out, BLAQ.
Somebody don't want this information to get out. So we're going to reconnect to our live feed on our other channel. We are live. But again, share this, brothers and sisters. Share this information. So we just led you up, brothers and sisters, to this Roman Jewish war, 70 AD.
Yeah.
Romans came in trying to kill everything, brothers and sisters.
And they did.
But we had escape routes. We escaped by the hundreds of thousands. And guess where we went? Same place Joseph went. Into the nations of Africa. Same place where Moses went. Into a nation in Africa. Same way Jesus went. Into a nation in Africa, brothers and sisters. These black Israelites could always pass for other nations in Africa because the Hamites and the Shemites are both black.
Yes, sir.
We read that in Genesis, the 10th chapter. Let's go ahead and pick this up at the book of Luke.
Luke 21, black guys. Luke 21. But the Lord already had it written. Luke 21, and I want to start at verse 20.
And I'm sorry, brothers and sisters, you're not going to be taught this type of lesson in most churches.
You're simply not.
I'm sorry.
And it's your history. What's wrong with everybody that told their history, black guys? What about your history?
Even in the month of February in Black History Month, why won't your preachers and teachers of those of you all who have black churches teach you your history as it is found in this book?
Everybody that told theirs.
Maybe it could be that they don't know this, brothers and sisters. Maybe they're too busy praising and worshiping, brothers and sisters, that they can't educate you on the word of God as it is found in this book called the Bible.
Amen.
Where we at, Brother
Luke
Julie?
21 and 20. It's already prophesied, and this is talking about the Roman army. Luke 21 and 20, black guys.
And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies,
surrounded by armies.
We just read that. 70 AD. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near.
Go ahead, Ice.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
We read Herod Agrippa II was in charge in Judea. Go ahead.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
Get out. When you see these armies begin to be surrounding Jerusalem, get out. Come on, Ice.
And let not them that are in the countries enter therein.
Anybody trying to get into Jerusalem during the Roman siege, do not go. Go ahead, because they're going to crucify you. Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance.
Yes.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
But we read what is written in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. Come on, Ice.
Verse 23. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck.
Go ahead, Ice.
In those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
Because the wrath is from the Lord. The Romans was a finger of God upon Israel because of her sins. Go ahead, black guys. Here we go. 24.
Verse 24.
Yeah.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Slaughtered.
And shall be led away captive unto all nations.
It's just one. No. Some nations.
No, Brother Julius. We're going to be led away into all nations.
And then what happened? What about our land?
We're going to be led captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Sisters and brothers, the Gentiles run Jerusalem. The people that's called Jews are not the real people. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 3. 2 and 9, 3 and 9. The Lord had it written. I know the blasphemy of those who say there are Jews and are not, but do lie, but are the synagogue of Satan, sisters and brothers.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, today, the people that call themselves Israelis, do you know that Western Europe and the United States fund them? Because they're ran by the Gentiles.
In 1948, brothers
Wow.
and sisters, the people who are in the land today that call themselves Jerusalem, they were given that land in 1948 by the United Nations.
And the League of Nations,
When
yes.
they came up under the persecution of Hitler. But we are identifying that those people that are in the land today, their real name and their real identity
Edom.
is called Edomites. They are Edomites, or descendants of the twin of Jacob, which was called Esau.
Yes.
Now, why is it that today that we can read about Jacob and Israel and that name still exists?
Yes.
But
But
for some reason,
his
the
brother.
name Esau,
His brother.
his twin brother, we never hear that name anymore. That name has totally been removed. Could it be that somebody's hiding the true Esau or Edomites? And if they're hiding the true Esau or Edomite,
Yeah.
which are the people over there in that land,
Yep.
then they're actually hiding the true Israelite and the true Jew, brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Someone has stolen your identity. Someone is assuming your identity and claiming to be you, but they do not fit the description of the Israelites according to this book called the Bible.
That's why you don't see the word Israeli in the Bible. Wow. Let's go to Obadiah 1, Ice.
Obadiah 1, please take time to study this book, the book of Obadiah, brothers and sisters.
One chapter long that speaks volumes. No such thing as a minor prophet. Where you get that from?
The book of Obadiah tells you about the big switch. Now, we just read in the Wikipedia about the Roman-Jewish war. Then we went to the book of Luke, the 3rd chapter, and it confirms that the Roman-Jewish war was prophesied to happen. Jesus himself talked about other nations coming into Israel. And us fleeing away into all other nations.
Wow.
Now we're reading in the book of Obadiah,
Yeah.
that same thing. In the book of Obadiah, 1:1 says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord concerning Edom.
Concerning who?
Wait a minute. Here's that word Edom.
Where do you find, where's the nation that called Edom today? Identity theft. They in your land. Go ahead, Ice.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord,
Yeah.
and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
That's the word
Arise
nations, yeah.
ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Go ahead.
Behold, I have made thee small among the brethren, thou art greatly despised.
The book said, I have made these small among the heathen or the nations. They, besides us, they are the most hated people in the world. That's why Hitler wanted to destroy them. Come on, Ice.
Verse 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks,
Yep.
whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Now look at what everybody in the land of Jerusalem today, how they conspired and throw these Edomites out. Verse 7, Ice. Verse 7.
Verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Yeah.
The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee.
Go ahead.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
Skip down to verse 9 and continue. Another name for Edom is T-Man. Go ahead.
And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Because of what they did to our ancestors. Continue to read, but why?
Here we go, brothers and sisters. Here we go. How did the people in the land called Jerusalem today get there? How did they get there? And how were we removed from it? Well, we read about us being removed from it in 70 AD, which actually led to a journey that had us caught up in the slave trade. But we read about us being removed from it in 70 AD.
Yeah.
But let's read about the people who are over there now, whose real name is Esau or Edomites. And verse 10, our brother, but our twin brother, look at what he did to us.
Yeah.
Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall come over you, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
This is yet future. Go ahead, Ice.
And the day thou stoodest on the other side.
That what day? 70 AD, when you teamed up with the Romans. Those of us that did escape, you caught us and you turned us in. The history book said that the crosses would never bear. 500 true Bible Christians were killed a day. So, oh, by the way, Jesus himself was crucified. So the cross is already set up, Ice. Read it.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldst thou have rejoiced.
We missed verse 11. You got to hit verse 11.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
Obadiah 1 and 11.
Yeah.
In the day that thou stoodest on the other side.
Yes.
In the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces.
The Romans carried us off. Go ahead.
And foreigners entered into his gates.
What foreigners? You
the
did.
Romans entered into the gates of Jerusalem, and you entered in with them.
And look what he said. Finish the end of that.
And cast lots upon Jerusalem.
Yep.
Even thou was as one of them.
Because you always hated us. You said, oh, Jacob stole my blessing. No, you sold your birthright. Come on, Ice.
Verse 12.
Yep.
But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger.
Yeah.
Neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction.
You rejoiced.
Neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
Yeah, you did. Go ahead.
Thou shouldst not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity.
What else did they do, Ice?
Yeah, thou shouldst not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity,
Uh-huh.
nor laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
What substance are Black Ice? Our history, our pictures, our land. How is it that everybody, think about it, everybody in the world got ancient artifacts that look like them? You have the people of India and China, they have Buddha. You have people in Afghanistan, they have their ancient statues of their ancient relics. You have the Egyptians who have pictures of Queen Tayi and King Tut. You have the Romans who got their Caesars standing on statues and everything. You got the Mexican who have the Aztecs. Everybody got their history. Where is our history? We got one because Jesus took Peter, James, and John up in the mountain and was translated, and they saw Moses and Elijah. How did they know how they looked? Because they had ancient pictures of them. Where is your pictures at today, Black Ice? Read it, my brother. Verse 14.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
Neither shouldst thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape.
You called and took them up to the Roman. Hey, centurion, we got one here. We got 5 over there. Catch them. Why? Because you wanted our lands. You hated us.
Neither shouldst thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
What you did to us, the Lord said he going to do you and make you small.
Remember in Luke
Vengeance is not ours, it's the Lord's.
chapter, it said that pray that you are not pregnant or with child.
In those days?
Because it's going to be a day of distress. Brothers and sisters, we are connecting this whole Bible for you.
But you never hear this in the churches. You don't hear it in the history books in school. What's going on, Black Ice?
Brothers and sisters, this is part 2
Wow.
of the Bible. Roots, the Bible version, brothers and sisters. How the transatlantic slave trade directly connects to the chosen people of God, the children of Israel. Stay tuned for our third and final